All right. We've got a good one today. It's going to be a pretty short stream today. My mom's coming to town, and everywhere I'm standing right now is probably where she's going to actually be sleeping. So I got to get everything cleaned up. But I wanted to talk about end of Windows 10 today. We're also going to look at kernel level anti-cheat. I think we might do a video on that, specifically just how bad it is. Like, I don't think people understand what they're doing when it comes to kernel level anti-cheat, and it's something that I'm just very, very against, but I don't think people understand how bad it really is and how egregious, and just frankly, I think it's illegal. If there is laws against privacy or security, I could see this getting completely banned in places just because of how bad kernel level anti-cheat is. So little preview there for that short snippet. And then we're also going to look at WinUtil, see if there's any PRs, issues, outstanding stuff that people are done, and then we'll probably shut it down for the day. But that's the overview of the stream today. Should be fun. Windows 10 also, you know, I really like the old version of Windows 10. Let's get into some of the versioning, because I think some people are like, well, Windows 10's gone, I'm gonna have to move to Windows 11, or I'm having to move to Linux, or moving to Mac, or whatever. Not necessarily. There's ways you can do it without like extended support or anything like that. We're not going down that rabbit hole. Anytime you have to give money to Microsoft, I'm like, that's not an option. So let's get into it. It's not as sad as you think for Windows 10. There's actually a good workaround. Let's just talk about that real fast, because it's not bad. So Windows 10, most people know, some people don't. Oh crap, you know what? I totally forgot on YouTube. Oh, it's unlisted. My bad. Let's make that public. YouTube live streams, you gotta love them. Such a terrible interface. Anywho. Oh man. Is Windows 10 still a good option? I mean, I guess, well, I don't know. Let's catch up with everybody. Is there anything? Because I forgot about YouTube. It's always a thing. LTSC, Windows 10 LTSC released in 2021, which was only 4 years ago. You still got, what, 6 years of support there? So you could be rocking Windows 10 LTSC 2021 for another 6 years. So who knows what the world looks like in 6 years. So if you guys like Windows 10, this is what you need. Now, I would even take this a little bit further. Like, my specific one I like the most is going to be Windows 10 Enterprise LTSC, or Enterprise IoT LTSC 2021. Man, that's a mouthful. But that would be the one I'd go with. Now, I remember trying IoT and regular LTSC, and I think IoT was just a little bit smaller, didn't have as much bloat, and that's why I liked the IoT LTSC version, and then I can just kind of build off of that. So if you're looking for something minimal, still Windows 10, still you can use it well into the future, I would say Windows 10 Enterprise LTSC, or IoT LTSC 2021 would be the way to go. So there you go. If you want to stay on it forever and ever, you can. But if you're just a regular Windows 10 Home or Pro peasant, well, it's a sad day. Today is the day of your death. Goodbye. And you might be thinking, Titus, I'm going to stay on Pro and Home forever. I'm not going anywhere. And I'll be like, all right, cool. Have fun getting hacked. You got to go somewhere. Either switch your Windows 10 version to Enterprise IoT LTSC, or move to Windows 11, or switch to Linux, or go spend a gajillion dollars and buy a Mac. Those are your options. Staying on Windows 10 Pro and Home is not an option. You are inviting trouble. So much trouble. It's like the Windows 7 users out there. I'm like, oh, gosh. Don't get me started about Windows 7 users. I know they still exist, but I don't want to hear it. If someone in chat says, I still use Windows 7, it's fine. It's fine. I only get hacked by script kiddies every other day. It's totally okay. No, just absolutely not. And if you're like, well, I can't get hacked, I'm on Windows 7. Okay, well, are you connected to the internet? Fine. Do yourself a favor, get a laptop, chuck on like Kali Linux, pop up the burp suite, maybe some Metasploit, and you're gonna be in like Flynn when it comes to Windows 7 users. It's not hard to hack someone on Windows 7. So just know. And just for you Windows 10 users, that's what's in store for you. It might take a couple months, maybe 6 months, but vulnerabilities will come out, they will be documented, and they will not be patched. So that's the thing. And if you really love Windows 10 and want to stay on it forever and ever and ever, well, you can at least get 6 more years with Windows 10 Enterprise IoT LTSC 2021. All right, sorry. I just want to start off the stream, just make that public service announcement for you Windows 7, Windows 10 users. Oh, God. Just losing my brain. I'm still using Windows 3.1. That's funny. Yeah. So, like, Windows users are the most vulnerable users because it's the biggest market share. It's what most things are designed around for hacking. Also, it's probably one of the most poorly secured operating systems in existence. And that's been that way forever. Like, if you look at any kind of CVE numbers, don't just look at total vulnerabilities. Look at remote execution flaws specifically. And you'll notice Windows just absolutely leaps and bounds ahead of every single other operating system in existence because of how poorly set up it is. There's so much room for abuse. And that's just always been the case. It just is. There's people that would like to think, oh, well, you got to do this and that. Yeah, there's ways to secure Windows. I get it. Reduce the attack surface. There's hardening tools to secure yourself better, but it's not perfect. And no operating system is, but Windows, you have to do a little bit more work. It's a full-time job. There's a reason why security researchers and people at big companies pay for a full security team. Is usually because they're running Windows and they need that team to secure their systems. So I rant over Windows 10. Sorry. RIP. It was good knowing you. Good knowing you, Windows 10 Home and Pro users. So yeah, that's about it. What's the best Linux distro for large touchscreen like tablets? Ooh, I don't know. Probably a GNOME-based distro. Maybe like Pop OS. Yeah, so do we want to just jump right into the kernel level anti-cheat? Did you talk about ESU? What do you, I'm not, what's the acronym ESU for? Cosmic Beta, we'd still got to try Blackstar. I think next week. Oh, extended security updates. Yeah. I guess that's an option. I just always hate that option. I just don't think it's good. Specifically, like signing up for it, even if you can get like a free version, I just think at that point switch to an LTSC or upgrade to Windows 11. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of ESU. It feels like a shakedown. It feels like something that should already be there, and I just don't like using it. But I mean, in a pinch at like a business with a couple straggling machines, maybe. I just don't like it. I have an old error in Event Viewer. The secure boot update failed to update secure boot variable with error. Secure boot not enabled on this machine. However, secure boot is enabled. Yeah, I don't know what that would be, Tola. That sounds interesting. There's a shenanigans with secure boot. Gnome. Yeah. Make a video on low, mid, end systems on how to optimize their system for best performance. System detailed guide. I think a lot of people, when it comes to Windows optimization, less is more. And what I mean by that, less programs, less installed, minimal setup, and then you just install what you need. I think what happens a lot of times with many gamers on low-end systems is they just don't want to wipe out their system. And it's just, you got to wipe out your system more often than those with more powerful systems, because Windows, again, degrades over time. It's an operating system designed on a foundation of sand, which means it just slowly gets slower and slower the longer you run your distro without formatting and reinstalling. So it's really important, I would say, format, reinstall. We just talked about Windows 10 IoT, Enterprise LTSC, 2021 Skylark, and you got end of life will be in 2031. You always get 10 years on LTSC. So if you want Windows 10, my recommendation is actually use Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSC. So there you go. Like what period for formatting? I would format at least every year, probably closer to every 6 months, depending on how much you use your system, how many programs you're installing. It just depends on the user. But yeah, I would say at a minimum every year, you're going to be looking at a full reformat, especially on a lower end machine. But when you reformat, you nuke and pave, you will notice a big performance increase. Ah, been too long since I caught you live. All right, well, good to hear. Yeah, so I started looking at some of the kernel level anti-cheat 2, which is something I thought was kind of interesting. And I kind of get your guys' take. Here, let's go over it real fast. I might make a video about this. I wanted to kind of get everybody's opinion. Oh, no, I never did reactivate that service. Oh, well. Let me pull down these changes. I threw something together yesterday after stream. Did I ever? One second here. I wonder why it bound to 43,409. Well, that's weird. So 43, was it 309? No, that wasn't it. That's not it. 1 second. I'm just gonna get this up, and then I made notes for this. Status Hugo. What was it? 40. Oh, 409. Yeah. Okay, cool. Dangers of kernel level anti-cheat. Now this is Battlefield 6. This is going to be your Riot game, so League of Legends players, Valorant players, a few others. This is just a draft though, so I just kind of drafted something together, and I was like, here's what I see as the significant problems with anti-cheat. Me personally will never play a kernel level anti-cheat game. I've pretty much, after looking at everything, I'm just like, there's no way I could ever install that on my machine and be okay with it. Unless it was like a dedicated hard drive that only played that one game. That would be like the only way to do it. Containerized would be okay. And I know Battlefield 6 is big with all the gamers out there, but I just can't, and I'm going to get into why I can't here, but this is kind of my thought process. Is one, kernel level anti-cheat, if you're unaware, runs at the kernel level, meaning they can do whatever the hell they want with anything on your system. That means they can spy on anything on your system. That means they could break your system's boot. That means anything could happen. Just so you know, you are giving the keys to the kingdom to whatever has kernel level anti-cheat. Simple. Now you might be thinking, I don't care about whatever big corporation has complete control of my machine. I mean, that's crazy, but I know that person exists. They just like, I just want to play Battlefield 6. I'm like, hey, I get it. But let me just make a use case here, and maybe you can just kind of keep this in the back of your mind when things start not working quite right on your system. You might be like, I just want you to remember this conversation. It's going to do you well. It's going to serve you well in the future, because I think it's going to be a revenue stream for many gaming manufacturing, especially shady ones, going forward. And I definitely could see a world where a year or two from now, those in Europe and the EU banning kernel level anti-cheat because of how egregious it is. So let's get into it. What's the deal? What's the problem? Security vulnerabilities. Well, of course, security is the biggest thing. Privacy, probably second to security. With this, you are required, basically, when you have something attached at the kernel level, it means, like I said, they have access to everything. But the main issue I have with this is what happens when they screw something up. I'm not so much worried about malicious actors like evil corporation looking at all your stuff. Yeah, that sure is a concern. But I would say the bigger concern is lazy corporations firing most people's, and then they're using AI to update these kernel level anti-cheats. What do you think that's going to do when your system screws up? Blue screens. Riot, and someone already mentioned in chat, had blue screens of death because of this. So your system might not boot with kernel level anti-cheat, just simply. And you're increasing your attack surface. Vulnerabilities could open up. What happens when they don't properly secure their kernel level anti-cheat? Now, I'm not thinking about cheaters, because the cheaters will always be there. Cheaters will always find a way. Life finds a way. It's like Jurassic Park. But the big thing here with anti-cheat and the vulnerabilities is what happens when they aren't very good at their job. They're creating this kernel level anti-cheat, and then they leave it open, and then that leaves a huge potential for abuse. Specifically, when it comes to the abuse, what I'm thinking of is there's been a recent vulnerability. You might remember a piece of software called Fan Control. Fan Control could control your fans. You might have even seen this for you Windows users out there. This had something called WinRing 0, and I think they've updated it to Pon.io, which is another untested kernel level modifier. And I think both are pretty insecure. I think Ring Zero is better documented for its insecurity, but Pawn.io I know is also not very tested, battle hardened at all. So I'm kind of curious. I would never use fan control. Fan control is an absolute atrocious abomination for Windows users as well. And some people say, I have to have fan control. Like, hey, I get it, whatever. There's Battlefield 6 players out there too, but we're kind of touching into a lot of these companies couldn't figure out how to make them work or use the existing APIs. So they're just like, screw it. I'm just going to take complete control of the system and then just run everything as admins, basically, is what they're doing. Oversimplification. But I wouldn't use fan control because, again, a huge amount of vulnerabilities, and it has tested vulnerabilities. I don't know about Pawn.io. I know a lot of people are weary about it because it has, I think, the main developer of Pawn.io, which is the kernel level driver for fan control, has an unknown developer. It's not like a person. I guess it's someone overseas. I don't think they're states based. And I just couldn't verify who the hell that was, and if they're an actual engineer or developer. So I'm kind of like, I'm out. I don't trust people that don't use their name, and especially if they're doing kernel level drivers, just not something I'm gonna mess around with. So I would never use fan control either, but I wanted to give you an example of something that has been exploited. People did take control of systems using fan control. It has tons of CVEs, which if you look at Win Ring Zero CVE, if you want to actually see it, vulnerable driver, here's Microsoft support. Sorry for the flashbang. It's been classified null vulnerability documented in CVE 2020 14979. So this goes all the way back to 2020. Base score 7.8 high. And you can see this is what you're dealing with. And this was specifically fan control that used this. Now fan control has moved on to Pawn.io, and I don't think that's been well documented yet. But again, I'm not messing with that. Just want to throw that out there. Next up, system instability. You probably could see this, and I don't think did I put a link in here? Nah, I didn't put a link. All right, let's find a link here just so you can see this. I only see a small bit of chat. Is that normal watching on YouTube? Yeah, so this is YouTube, this is Twitch. I stream to both. So, just so you know. Alan, you're normal. I lock YouTube chat down to members only, mainly because when I don't do that, YouTube chat gets a little rowdy. Which you think Twitch chat would be more rowdy than YouTube, but you'd be wrong. Who knew? I find Twitch chat is, I wouldn't say well behaved, but I would say better behaved. Anyways, Riot Vanguard BSOD. So here's a post from July of 2025. Consistent blue screen of death, Riot Vanguard, how to prevent and fix this ongoing issue. What are you doing, Riot? What you doing? That's not good. That's blue screen after installing Vanguard. Oh, so yeah, this is for a League of Legends player. Oh, they just started blue screening. System instability. I would say that is a real deal, big time problem. And this is just Riot Vanguard. I know everyone watching this right now is probably like, well, what about Battlefield 6? Oh, give it time. Sweet summer child. You're about to have a good time with system instability. I guarantee it. EA has a worse track record than Riot. And now they're in your system if you're playing Battlefield 6. I have a smile on my face because I know it's going to equate to more content and more money in my pocket. So don't take this as, hey, everyone, no one should buy Battlefield 6. Everyone should be off of EA. I know you guys are going to buy it. I know most people are going to buy it and use it. And they're just going to break their system into 1,000 little pieces. And I'm going to be like, I just got paid because of these evil corporations just screwing stuff up. And it sucks to be you, but I get to say, I told you so, and also capitalize on your downfall. So I don't mind this, so don't take this as me like, oh, I can't believe it. It's more of like, this is what stupid people are gonna do. It's just a thing. And I don't blame you. I'm sure Battlefield 6 is a fun game. I've seen the clips online. It's like, oh, that'd be fun to play. But again, kernel level anti-cheat. All right, so let's get into, system instability, for sure. Security vulnerabilities. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. Privacy concerns. Now, you might be thinking, well, I mean, what American company would we not trust? It's EA. Electronic Arts, it's in the game. I mean, that's as American as apple pie and canned beer. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. EA was just acquired. It was one of the biggest acquisitions of an investment firm ever done. And that investment firm's from, Saudi Arabia. Well, it's not like they have any human rights violations. I'm sure it's fine. Anyways, they only paid $55 billion to acquire EA. And this happened right before. This was actually September of this year. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting timing. And here's their actual statement. I linked the entire statement if you want to read it in its entirety. But they did it to accelerate EA's innovation and growth and build the future of entertainment. Oh, God. People are stupid, I tell you. They actually believe this is a thing. So anyways, they bought this. I think there's a foothold, especially with the kernel level anti-cheat. Man, could you imagine being a Saudi Arabia prince and you're like, hey, let's say I want to invade people's lives. Well, how many millions of people are going to buy Battlefield 6? 55 billion to get in their lives and have complete control of their computers. That actually might be a good deal for them. I'm just saying, being devil's advocate here, trying to come at you, just put something in your head, like just plant a little seed there. I just don't trust that. Call me crazy. I didn't trust it before the Saudi investment firm took over EA. EA's always been shady as hell. But I don't think that gives them any more credit. And I don't think I trust them any more with that acquisition. So I kind of want to just throw that out there for everyone. From a privacy concern standpoint, yeah, there's a lot of red flags. And if you just take a minute to think about it, you'd be like, yeah. Well, no doubt number one spy in the world's UK. Wait, you think UK is bigger than USA? I'd swap those. As an American, I pride myself as we're the number one spy in the world. Excuse me, you Brits are second place when it comes to spying. Us Americans, we're better at spying. No. MI6 fell off. Come on, man. James Bond's on like film 37, okay? As an avid James Bond watcher, I'm just saying. China enters chat. Oh. I'm sorry. America, let's go. Anyways. So yeah, privacy concerns abound with kernel level anti-cheat. Now, what about compatibility? Now, there are problems with kernel level can interfere with legitimate software. Let's just Google it. There's been some issues with this, specifically one that I'm thinking of that had a big vulnerability. And this kind of goes back to the stability issue. I don't know. This might be a redundant point. When it comes to compatibility, I'd almost slap it in with system instability and vulnerabilities. I'm trying to think probably the best. I kind of have duplicates here because I honestly would put compatibility, boot problems, and these all rolled into one. It's kind of redundant because like I think of like the CrowdStrike. You guys remember that when all the airports shut down? CrowdStrike is an example of kernel level drivers gone awry. And they essentially, from my recollection of CrowdStrike, they just pushed out an update. Someone, new guy, maybe he ChatGPT'd it. I don't know. Anyways, he put out a bad driver and it ended up blue screening thousands upon thousands. I think most of the airports or most of the airlines here in America went down. And I think it was pretty much worldwide. And they stayed down for quite a bit because it required physical access to the machines to fix it. So it's and that's a kernel level driver, much like anti-cheat. So you saw what happened with CrowdStrike taking down a bunch of airports. Well, I'm hoping. I don't think people on airport terminals are playing Battlefield 6, but at the same time, I just wanted to give an example of a kernel level update going awry and causing boot issues. We've already also talked about Riot Vanguard causing blue screens of death over here. I just want to hammer that home. I think CrowdStrike's another good example of this. And the thing about all of this, what I'm talking about, people are like, well, I don't like playing with cheaters. I'm like, I get it, but this doesn't stop cheaters. What stops cheaters, in my opinion, is user mode anti-cheat solutions. They don't need kernel level. There's ways of looking at this. You can analyze behaviors. You're telling me they can't detect when someone just does a 180, snipes a guy at 45 degrees up on the roof in a split second and just jerks the camera? You're telling me nobody can write an algorithm to detect that? There's so many things that would just give away cheaters that I think behavioral analysis would be far more efficient than a kernel level anti-cheat. And then also community reporting that actually, God forbid they hire a couple more people and then just have community reporting. There's nothing better than human detection. Yeah, you can have the computer, this kind of detection, but why not have community detection and then actually pay a team of actual humans to look at the community reports instead of it just going into a black hole? That would be the best. Now, you could also add AI on here if you're an AI bro out there and going, AI could solve this as well. I honestly think they should hire humans, have community reporting, and then directly watch and ban the users from a human perspective. Think of how many jobs that would create. And these companies are making enough money that they could do that. That is a very tried and true method that would work. I don't understand why we're going to all these lengths with kernel level anti-cheat when at the end of the day, they could just hire a couple hundred people. Yeah, it might take away from their profits by a little bit, but maybe not. If people know, hey, there's actual humans looking at the community reports and banning the users, you'd have one of the best games ever made that doesn't have cheaters. I don't think that's much of a stretch, right? That's my opinion. That's my hot take on kernel level anti-cheat. Why I never will use it. Why I will never play games with it. I just can't. I can't it's a bridge too far for me for a variety of reasons, which I've just laid out. But also, it's not even a good solution. It doesn't even fix the problem of cheaters. Cheaters will always find a way. And just thinking on my head, like, Titus, how is that possible? Let's say I wanted to cheat right now in Battlefield 6. I would probably use a second machine, feed that feed directly in, and then I can train it to fire for me. And there's no way that anti-cheat would even be able to detect that, because the output is being read by another machine. It's completely out of box. You can see this in World of Warcraft bots, phishing bots. World of Warcraft has a fantastic detection engine for anti-cheat. I'm not going to let you know how I know that, but let's just say if you run a fish bot in World of Warcraft, you're probably going to get caught if it's on the same machine and not containerized. Fun fact. But yeah, I think you could definitely do that level of thing if you want to do like 2 machines or maybe 1 virtualized instance and then be able to do it. And there's also another thing where most people are talking about kernel level anti-cheat, and I think we touched on it a little bit yesterday when we were doing the PCIO pass-through or VFIO pass-through. And that's using kernel level anti-cheat in a VM. Now, there's ways of doing it. I looked more into that offline yesterday, and it's pretty invasive, and the way to get around it is not something you can publicize because they will do it. So that's my thoughts. What do we got? Ahmed, this is insane. You got to read this. What I'm on post. Let's see. Fun fact, all Call of Duty games since Modern Warfare 2 permanently ban Windows users with no right to appeal if an RFS partition is detected. Activision haven't fixed their ricocheted anti-cheat and still has this behavior. Wow. One, who's using ReFS? That's pretty wild. But it's just goes to show how much these companies just do not care. They don't care about anti-cheat. They don't care about any of this. They just throw up some stuff. Probably half this, most of this anti-cheat's probably just vibe coded nonsense. And they're just like, well, it's different and different enough. Maybe it'll catch some cheaters, and it's only a matter of time before they get around it. It's just one of those things. Yeah, Genshin Impact also had kernel level anti-cheat, and it was compromised. Actually, fun fact, I cheated in Genshin Impact. I remember I was using it. I was like, where are all these damn chests? And I remember I used an add-in to go ahead and wireframe everything and then just draw lines to all the chests so I could just go grab all my stuff. So yeah, I cheated in Genshin Impact. Never got caught. So I don't know why they have kernel level anti-cheat. I didn't get busted. They did ban me in, what was it, Miho or whatever? They banned me in, what's the other one? Star Rail. Because I was on Linux and I was running it through a Flatpak. So containerized to an extent, and I think I was pushing that through. Then they gave me the old ban, and they only banned me for like 7 days though, and then I just kept using it. I never got another ban. It's kind of funny. Things that makes me angry is some game companies make it that anti-cheat no longer working in Linux compared to it and make excuses. Yeah, I think a lot of that is just the companies not wanting to support Linux. And I think that's mainly competitive shooters, specifically, what's that one shooter that had it for a bit, and it was all right game. I played it a couple times. Name is Apex. Yeah, Apex Legends is probably the one that did that. So, but cheater's gonna cheat. I mean, that's just how it works. Yeah, and like I said, it's like the best one way here, and Adam puts it up over here. People was going to say people in Battlefield 6 were cheating, and I could have to tell by gameplay. Almost every human can tell cheaters from the gameplay. Community level reporting is the best, in my opinion. You can actually give with 100% certainty that person's cheating. You know, if they're no scoping 180 spinning off a building and then all of a sudden it just snaps to a person's head and shoots them as they fall. I mean, come on now. And that's just you know how it goes. If you cheat, then you don't play the game, so you ruin your own game too. I don't get cheating in multiplayer. Yeah, cheating in multiplayer is just gross. Like, cheating in a competitive multiplayer, I totally am with. Most of the games I've cheated on were like single player games or something where I was just trying to catch up so I could play with my kids. I get that. That's how I've cheated in the past, or like some MMOs and stuff like that, like fishing and WoW, or botting and some of the MMO stuff I've done when it's like something monotonous. And I'm like, oh, this is just a grind. I bet I could script something up real fast. And you know, those types of things is when I say I've cheated. That's what I'm alluding to. And I know that's, you know, some people are like, oh my God, Titus, I can't believe it. But man, I'm old. I'm not competing with any of these young guys that spend, you know, hours and hours and hours online. Yeah, and like, you know, it just depends on the game. Like, some of the games, I feel like the gameplay loop is a little broken, and especially older games, I really like kind of fixing up and designing around it. It kind of almost makes the game more fun for me when I find like a broken game that I think I figure I can fix it a little bit and also enjoy the game a bit better because of that. So yeah, and again, the solution here is very simple. Just hire more people, expand your anti-cheat with humans, and look at gameplay. Us humans, we know when we see a cheater. Any gamer out there that's ever played a competitive shooter, we know when we've been cheated on. We can look at from their vantage point and go, "Ah, oh, dude, come on." You know. That's the best. That's the best detection. Hey, I'm all for AI or all this other crap, but at the end of the day, kernel level anti-cheat is not a solution, and it does not solve the problem. All it does is make your system more insecure. You now have spying you have to worry about. You now have stability issues. There's just too much going on there. Why? Whitelist serves as the only good working anti-cheat. You know, I really like I'm going to date myself a little bit here, but you young whippersnappers, if you get if you get on the old GameSpy days, and I remember having like a hosted like ranking and that type of thing. You had these online gaming tournaments, and everybody kind of looked at your gameplay and could do that. And this was back in the Quake days when I did like a bunch of Quake 2, and I was very competitive in that realm. That was so much fun, but you always knew, and the cheaters always got banned, and they only lasted usually about, oh God, I think it was like Punk Buster was the anti-cheat in the day, and it kind of like, it wasn't a great anti-cheat, but it caught some. But the big thing was the community could always find that cheater, and then the server owner would always ban all the cheaters. It was just, once you found a good server that was well maintained, you never had to worry about cheaters. Yeah. God, I loved it. And that was the best. You don't run into nearly the cheating problem of Battlefield, Call of Duty, all these competitive shooters of today. one, I feel like they're less skill involved compared to, and I'm a little biased here because of my generation growing up was Quake, where there was not like any drift or luck based associated with it. If you're really good hand-eye coordination, you had the cursor on the head, you press the button, their head exploded. That's the way I like to play. I don't like this, oh, well, there's a variance to the shot because that's more realistic. I'm like, dude, I'm playing a video game. If I clicked there, I want it to shoot there. I don't like some of the realism. I'm sorry, I'm getting into old man yells at cloud moments here. That's why I don't really play competitive shooters on top of the easy anti-cheat. But I liked the old school shooters where you had that. It was just more skill oriented. And then also the cheater problem wasn't as pronounced as it is today because there was more human element involved. So it's actually gotten worse over time. Yeah. Oh God. Counter-Strike 1.6. Yeah. That was peak. That was peak for sure. Oh, I loved Counter-Strike. Old school. Yeah. Before Source. Oh yeah. Quake 3 Arena. That was a little bit past my time. I really liked Quake 2 as my jam. And I always played on, I don't know if anybody even recognizes this site. You guys remember MPlayer? I think it was MPlayer Gaming service. It was way back in the day. Yeah, that was it. Let's see. Do we have a chat room? Yeah. So you had these different rooms in MPlayer and you could jump in your game, and then you had they had like a subscription where you pay like $2 or $3 a month or something. But when you jumped in the rooms, you got different ranks based on your kill to death ratio. And then you could sit there and talk trash in the lobby as the game's loading up. And then when you get into the game, it would record all your stats. And then when you get kicked back, you could just sit in the lobby with a, based on your ranking. It was fun. It was fun. I loved old MPlayer. Blast from the past. For those that know, they know. 29 years ago, I know. Yeah. It was great. All right. So we've got that. Let's jump into some WinUtil action. Now we've talked about Windows 10. We've talked about the anti-cheat. I don't think there's anything left to say unless I missed anything. I don't think so. Faster pace like old shooters. What is that? Why haven't I never heard of this? Am I just out of the loop? Anime style. Oh, my son probably would like this. But that's a little too stylized for my liking. All right. One other thing I wanted to do is I kind of wanted to look at my config. I think I had a looking glass. Yeah. Mod key W. Now. Nah.
Look, I want to say, I know you know a lot of super people, so thanks for thanking of me.
Swamp, thanks so much for becoming a YouTube member. It's the gameplay, not the style. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's what they all say. It's true. I'll try it out. I'll load it up. All right. Let's fix our looking glass bind here, and then we'll launch into old Windows and start looking at some PRs and issues. Let's go .local bin. Now, looking glass here, I have it set as that. Let's do looking glass client. And if I go looking glass client, I think that's like an old remnants of a looking glass client back in the day. Let's remove that. And I kind of want to do a make install of the current iteration of looking glass. Let's go build. Let's see if we...
Look, I want to say, I know you know a lot of super people, so...
Bara, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. So let's go looking glass now. Okay, there we go. Socket failed. Cannot connect to SPICE server. Perfect. Let's launch into our VM. Pop up our Windows 11 pass-through. Once this finishes up, we'll launch in. Get the game running in a via VM. Yeah, this should work pretty well for everybody. Yeah, looking glass is up and going. Perfect. All right, cool. So now we're inside of old Windows, and we have our PCIe. We did a pass-through stream yesterday where we're doing a 1660, so nothing like super powerful. And this has NVMe pass-through as well, and pretty much everything is set. We got audio, everything. So like if I wanted to game, I could game directly in Windows right here in a VM. I don't even think, do I have Steam installed? Oh, I do. What do we got? Anything big here that we can install? Do we have anything installed locally? Oh, we got Cyberpunk. Well, let's see. Does Cyberpunk even work? I haven't launched into that forever. Maybe. What did I have for my launch options? Nothing. And this was installed where exactly? Yeah, I still got a terabyte free on this NVMe. Yeah, I don't think I'd play this, obviously, in Windows. Most of, yeah, most of mine would not be there. These days, I try to pretty much stick in Linux. Occasionally, I'll do Windows, but I can't think of the last game I really did in Windows. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, there we go. just started using Control X. Oh man. Yeah, I hate game installers. That's one thing I like about Linux installs too. Like everything's containerized. Man, I gotta tell you. Here we go. So this is directly in the Windows VM. Yeah, whatever. Come on, man. Let's turn that down here. I was just like, oh my gosh. Let's disable copyright music. I'm not trying to blast anybody out. And let's just close that. And I think we could go here. What is our video set? We can do a benchmark. Just real fast to do it. Reflex low latency. NVIDIA. Now we do have FSR with Looking Glass, so you can actually combine FSR and NVIDIA with this type of setup. Get double the generation. Let's go graphics. What are we doing? Now we're not using any kind of scaling. Frame generation is off. Can we? You could do AMD. What about resolution scaling? Super resolution. Yes. Hello, daughter. Oh, nice. Let's see it. Oh, man. Oh, for a second, I thought you chopped all your hair off. Oh, it looks great. Good job. Okay, I'll be inside in a bit. We'll go work on the ballista. All right. Film grain, field of view. No. Depth of field off. Yep. Limbs flare. Oh, gross. No motion blur. Hate that. I don't like vignette. Contact shadows. Level of detail. Yeah. Let's go low. Or no, depth of field is what I'm thinking. Let's go high. Sure, why not? All right, cool. Let's just run a benchmark real fast. See how we're doing on our 1660 and our VM. What do we think? I don't know if the 1660 actually gets frame generation or not. I don't think it does. So, I mean, for a low-end card, 50 FPS in Cyberpunk, that ain't bad. Yeah. I'm sure I could tweak that out a little bit and change a few things to at least cap it around 60. Overall, looks pretty smooth to me, though. Playable. If I was real serious about it, I probably would switch this out to probably at least like a 2060 or something. You want to do Call of Duty or Battlefield? All right, I'll have to load up some old Call of Duty. I got a terabyte free, so we might be able to get that installed. maybe I don't know. With what is it, Warzone and standard Call of Duty, it's pretty pretty rough. But yeah, that's not bad. Around 60 FPS with an old GTX 660. There's only 6 gigs of memory in that guy, and this is the stats with a pass-through VM. I'm very happy with those results. So, and while I'm here, I could always just come right back into my Linux instance too. So like we're like, hey, how are we doing here? Now, we weren't even capping during the benchmark. Shoop. And we're back. That is very nice. So nobody's even the wiser. Yeah, is Call of Duty on Steam, or is it still like a Blizzard launcher only? Oh my god, I was testing fan control the other day. That's funny. For a mental note, let's get rid of that. So another issue was when you remove, cancel, discard. Will not be removed by the uninstaller. So like Pawn.io kernel driver for fan control, speaking earlier, because I did have that installed here. I guess I was testing something on my VM. This is still installed. By uninstalling fan control, it does not install the kernel level driver. And if you look here, here's Pawn.io. It's made by Namozoso. We would also want to uninstall that. Now, how do you know? Like, that does not make me feel warm and fuzzy inside. Anything from a kernel level driver, when you uninstall it, you absolutely have to reboot. Let's check. So probably the best way to do this is with driver query. Let's try it in PowerShell real fast. I think we might write a program just to check kernel level stuff using like driver query. So this shows you all the different drivers that are installed in this system at the kernel level. So then we can kind of check to see, hey, what is, God, Windows is such a mess. Ugh. So you got Realtek, USB 1. What else do we got? Pawn.io. I guess it did live unload. Doesn't seem right to me. NVDDMKM. I don't know what that is. Just looking through. You can see the dates of most of these drivers. Oh. Windows really is just a hot mess. Anywho. Yeah, driver query is probably the best way.
Yeah, well, to do the binds.
How often do I have to run WinUtil? Just probably would be one second, Don. I'll answer your question here in a second. Big feature updates is a big one, or cumulative updates in Windows is when you're going to want to rerun WinUtil. Why members only chat? Come on, man. We opened up chat before, Don, and I ran into a lot of issues. Like I said, I mentioned it earlier in chat about that. Specifically, YouTube chat was a little rowdy. So I didn't want to monitor it that much. I shut down all YouTube streams for a bit there, and then I kind of brought them back, and I was like, a good in-between would be having YouTube running with just members only chat. That way I don't have to, you know, if someone's going to pay money, they're typically not going to troll me. Sometimes I still get trolled, but it's not as obviously as prevalent as when you got like a couple hundred people all typing in chat at once. And then you also have a couple hundred over on Twitch. It gets a little overwhelming. So members only chat on YouTube because of that. Now you could always do Chatterino if you're unfamiliar with that. So if you want, oh, I don't have Chatterino installed. You could always authenticate with Twitch with IRC. You don't have to load up the Twitch app. You could either use Chatterino, or you could do like a WeChat or any IRC client, and then log in with a Twitch account and then chat over here. So if you want to watch on YouTube and use IRC chat to chat over here, you can. But YouTube chat's awful. It's a very, very bad implementation by Google, and not something that's easily moderated, especially when you get hundreds of people in it all chatting at once. It's not worth it. I'll never open up YouTube chat to everybody. It's just, I've done it. It's not fun. I hate streaming. I would shut down the YouTube stream before I opened it up. That's kind of my thoughts. What's your situation with recall on 25H2? Can we rip it out? Yeah, you can rip it out. I didn't see recall actually installed on this system. If we look, last I checked on the recall feature, which we can actually do a check on this. You go, actually, we can just go recall. So you can actually get information for that recall feature. We'll just pull it in, and you can see right now, disable with payload removed. So currently it is off in 25H2, and if we do WinVer, you can see 25H2, we're on build 6584, and recall is not there. So we do have that going for us. So thank God Microsoft somewhat listened to users before completely rewinding the clock and forcing online accounts. But there's still remnants left over. I think when we looked at some of the packages like Explorer, when they ripped that out, I think this might have gotten fixed. Coding Wonders would know, though. He was the one that found it and the integration into Explorer. All right, let's look at WinUtil. What do we have for poll? Oh, I got quite a few poll requests. Let's see what we got. Add disable edge tweak. Having edge and edge update in the background uses up a lot of, so disabling is useful. Let's see what he's doing here on this tweak. So the problem I had with Edge last time when we did an uninstall, I actually changed the region to Ireland, and then from Ireland it would give you the ability to just uninstall Edge through the GUI. So let's see how he's doing it over here. He was wanting to do Explore, disallow and run, disable Edge. Explore, disallow, run. I kind of like this method. I've never seen someone do it like this one. I thought we were just going to get a copy pasta and then just disabling the tasks. Oh, it's minimal. That's a rare W. Let's try it out. I'm going to approve that. Let's run those checks. It's still not fixed. Okay. Bummer. Coding Wonders. Yeah, so I've gone through a bunch of different ways of disabling and uninstalling Edge. Typically, if it's really intrusive, I won't even bother and I won't accept that. But this is just 2 small entries, and as long as it has an undo option as well. So you have the first one, disable. So we have 2 different policies happening in Explorer, which I was like, that's a good way of going about it. And then we're just doing disable task, and then he has an enable task for the undo. So when you hit undo, it's going to remove the entries because he put the original value in, and then it will run the enable task for Edge update. That looks pretty solid. Let's try it out. Okay. So we're gonna go tweaks. And if we look, let's see what we got. A disable Edge should be in here. Debloat Edge. Do not see it. Let's look. Ah, just a disable. Okay. I think he added it, but I don't think he added the GUI part of it, unless it's somewhere else that I'm missing. It would appear so. So let's come back to that. Oh, the VMware detection. Yeah, for VMware detection and secure boot, I looked more into it, and it's not something that I want to tackle. It's a lot of build from source kind of shenanigans to get around it. And I just, more trouble than it's worth. Now, I'm trying to think if there's any games that don't like running in a VM. Some of the VMware detection we could bypass, but for like secure boot and specifically the kernel level anti-cheat, it requires a bit more. So WPF tweaks disable Edge. Let's add that in. Panel 1, order 106. Look up from that. Disable Wi-Fi sense. Alrighty. Let's close all these. And WPF tweaks Wi-Fi. Got our preset. Well, yeah, we actually removed the WinUtil shortcut, James, from the actual utility. Antiviruses were flagging it, but essentially all it is you could just reference it from a PowerShell command. If you look in issues, there's a guide to how to do it. on the actual GitHub. I thought I pulled, didn't I? Yeah, no, I pulled. We're fine. Disable Edge. Huh. Didn't I... Oh, I just approved it. I didn't actually merge it, did I? Okay, let's squash and merge. Durr. Well, that's why. I was like, wow, that's strange. Didn't show up. All right, let's pull these changes, recompile. Oh, my time is way, way off, isn't it? Why is my time so far off? Somebody from chat is like, well, you should adjust your time. I think if we ever do two-factor, that's a big issue. No, if I do that, I want to say... trying to think if that breaks. Oh, my region's Ireland. That's why. Well, is it 7 a.m. in Ireland? No, that's wrong, isn't it? My bad. I must have missed. I've been messing around with some stuff. Okay, let's switch that back to the States. My bad. Turned Irish there for a little bit. But the laws in Ireland are a little better, so they're forced to allow uninstalls happen in certain parts of Windows. So I switch over to Ireland whenever I need to uninstall stuff that Microsoft doesn't allow here in the States. All right. So let's go back to time. Date time. All right, region, that's good. Let's just update. It's only 5 hours? No. It's not right. Ireland's ahead. Hell, I don't know what's going on with my time then. Okay, script compile. What do we have here? Used by another process. Let's just recompile again. Yeah, it's 5 hours ahead. That's what I thought. Okay, so do we have disable Edge? So right now, can we launch Edge? Let's just, okay, cool. So Edge is working. Now let's break it. Disable Edge. And what we're gonna do, let's see what we got. Okay, so then we got our disallow Edge run. We disabled the task to run. We are located in the States. So with those tweaks in, doesn't necessarily uninstall it, but it should prevent Edge from running in the background. If we look at our task scheduler, let's see what we have running. Because Edge will start with your system. Let's go to details. Let's look for MS Edge. And no Edge is running. You do have WebView 2. Oh no, there's MS Edge. So let's just end the process tree. Oh gosh. All right, let's kill Edge View 2. I don't want Edge View 2 to be gone because, like, if you're using VS Code, it's dependent on WebView 2. So even though it's MS Edge WebView 2, other Microsoft projects will depend on it. So really important. Now, if we go Edge here, whoa, does that block? It does not. Let's reboot. You'll notice we quit out of Edge, but it actually never terminates the process itself. So there we go. Parsec is also dependent on WebView 2. Yeah. I know Code, Visual Studio, Forza, and a few other games are dependent on WebView 2. All right, let's reboot. Let's see. GTA 5 isn't too happy about running in a VM. I tried with Unraid and it has a stuttering mess. Oh man. I don't think I've ever had problems with GTA 5, but I had... Wait. We can try it out. I'll probably end up snagging it whenever. Fitness is going well, man. I'm actually going to a fitness competition at the end of the month. So that should be fun. I'm doing a CrossFit competition. I wanted to ask you why did WinUtil remove the no password WinGet installation like before without any updates? No password for installing using the WinGet. You can just hit cancel on that. And that typically will only pop up when using a local account without a password. Why is the username for Edge subscribe? I don't know. Because you need to subscribe. Oh, there's no longer a cancel button? All right, let's fix that too. Every time with Edge, man. All right, we're back up. Hey, no Edge. It canceled. All right, cool. Let's open a file location. All right, let's try and open it from here. I love it. That's good. That's really good. It prevents Edge from starting using a policy. Oh, that's beautiful. That's actually pretty clean. Bro, I gotta find that contributor. I want to shake his hand. Look at that. No MS Edge. There we go. Disable Edge is back and better than ever. Hell yeah. Well, that'll be in the next release. Big shout out. I might even do a video on that. I don't know though. I hate making videos on that type of stuff because I feel like Microsoft watches my crap, because every time I make an uninstall or disable Edge video, within the next couple weeks to a month, all of a sudden it's patched out. Maybe I just do it and not tell anybody. See what happens. Yeah, we already have Copilot. Copilot's pretty easy to track down. Edge was a little bit more difficult, but I do like the policy there. That's pretty slick, I gotta say. Yeah, so this time, what we're doing with Edge disable is we made a policy and the policy says msedge.exe cannot run on the system. So it's an Explorer policy, and Explorer is essentially the manager of any programs on here. So if you don't have Explorer running, you have no start button, you have nothing, and it dictates what can be started. And it's just a policy that says msedge.exe cannot be run. So anytime you go to run Edge, if you try it here, click, 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 nothing. Let's try new window, nothing. And if we open directly in the file location and then we try and force it open, no sir. So this denies it from being run, and then the update tasks in Task Scheduler were also disabled. But the beauty of this is it's a very small patch. We're just adding a couple policies and then also disabling a Task Scheduler Edge update, and it's very easy to re-enable. But it's not a group policy. So this will work on home. This is an actual policy within Explorer. I know that's a little confusing, but there's different policies in Windows. There's standard application policies, there's group policies, which is more business oriented. There's local group policy. Standard like domain group policies are distributed across a domain, where local group policies are issued from the actual system. Most local group policies are ignored in Windows 11 Home, but they are used in Windows 11 Pro. So just a good example of the two. Yeah, we do some removal of provision packages, num, but it just depends. What is the dev channel? So dev channel is when we have a pre-release. Right now, dev channel doesn't do anything except launch regular WinUtil. But when you look at our releases here, last release was 8 days ago. This is the latest release. But whenever I create a new release, typically what I'll do is I'll put it as a pre-release. So when it says pre-release and it's a beta, essentially, it just sits there and you can't launch it unless you use WinDev. Right now, we don't have any pre-releases. I could create one, but yeah, that was pretty slick, man. God bless. I was really impressed with that. Fix, prevent removal of user driver framework. What's this? Oh, I got you. This is from MicroWin. Yeah, so user driver framework is used for Parsec and a few other things. Coding Wonder says there's no user driver framework. Oh no, he says it's AI slop. Let's take a look. Does it have? It says only 2 lines are changed. Well, at least it's not like a nuke the world commit. But I mean, we could always look for the feature user driver framework in here. Let's take a look. Let's see. Is it slop? Get feature. Probably a get feature should be able to specify that. Let's see if we can't. Let's see. Get feature. PowerShell. Concise. list. Coding Wonders, the AI hunter. All right, just the names. Let's copy that. I feel like that should be good. Get optional feature online. I think this should work, but let's see. No. Feature. Let's go dash online. Let's go where object installed should be sufficient. Let's see if this is able to pipe us a list. Server only. I was about to say, I thought Windows feature was a thing. Did I hit enter? Thought I hit enter. One second. Let's go. Actually, let's just get rid of the where. Select and expand name, and then I'll look to see installation. I can't remember. Oh, well. Feature name, probably. All right, there we go. God, AI has gotten so much worse, it seems like, in the past month or so. Okay, so this is all the optional features. And what were we looking for, he said? User mode driver framework. It might be slop. Might be slop. I'm gonna say it's slop. I agree with Coding Wonders. He knew. Wait. So these are the optional features that are removed. Yeah. There ain't no user mode driver framework there. Dawn says, I believe Microsoft's approach in Europe will let people use Windows without an online account, but to force an account upon using their apps. Probably. Yeah. I don't see anything in the feature. We didn't even specify the feature like installed. So like if you don't, like let's say we wanted a full readout of get optional features online, we could do this. And then we could do like a where object installed or state enabled. Actually looks to be the case. So these enabled ones are the ones that we actually would look for. So let's say we wanted to where object enabled. But I believe we'd have to specify don't think that'll give us, but maybe. Let's see. Nah, yeah. Syntax is always a little wonky. Yeah. There it is. So it would be a $sign. Curl bracket, $, underscore, dot, state, equal, enabled. And then close it. And then I think we'd also need to expand the property feature name if we wanted to specify, hey, just these. But these are everything that's enabled on my current system. Yeah, there's no optional. Alrighty. I'm gonna call Coding Wonders the AI Hunter. Correct. There is no user mode driver framework as an optional feature. Old Zeus. All right, pull requests. What else we got? Add beeper, correct operator to check tweak type. Huh. Actually, that might work. Because right now the toggle boxes aren't working in WinUtil. I'll have to check in this. What if Coding Wonders AI himself? Well, if he's an AI himself, I'm signing up for that program. I gotta just tell you right now. That'd be the best AI by light years ahead of everything else. I'm kind of curious on that. I don't want to merge that just because the last PR from Zeus was not great.
The dude abides.
And was incorrect. So kindly, thanks for the prime. Remove duplicated. Duplicate of line. Let's go ahead and approve that workflow. Let's look at the changes. I do love PRs where it just says -14. Let's look up where that is. (1607). Personalization reporting enabled. Yep, that's there. 1649. Edge collections enabled. 1649. Edge collections enabled. Doing God's work here. I love this. Is like my favorite PR ever made. It's just deleting a couple lines and it's just duplicates with proper comments to say, hey, God, that is just a beautiful PR. Whew. Absolute just perfection. Does one thing. It removes duplicated. He specified exactly where it was duplicated. I could double check it. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. I love it. I love it. Let's see. Correct operator to check tweak type. Oh no, Zeus is at it again. Oh, this is the one we checked already. I'll probably just do that later. All right, we got a draft. Allow users to bail out a WinGet. Fix GitHub IO 404 links. What's this one? Do we have some 404s? Oh. We do, don't we? That's right. My bad. Correct. Thank you, sir. I think the other day we were talking about people with trying to get PRs and stuff and get contributions. And I was like, you know what? You can go through my projects. I have so much grammatical and spelling errors in all my projects. I don't even care. If you want some free contributions, you're more than welcome to fix my spelling errors and also bad links, because I have a boatload in every single project. Fix apply to all users for tweaks. What? Huh. We'll look at that later. Multiplane toggle. All right, right now tool defaults to multiplane toggle disabled. Toggle is on, when in fact it causes an error when trying to toggle it, trying to remove the key, because multiplane is actually disabled. The key doesn't exist. Either make it toggle disable or make the default state on and swap the original value. This would also fix it. What do we got? Yeah, how we do the toggles is interesting. It's a little flawed. I gotta rewrite this whole thing, because they're all wrong. Zeus tried to do something with that with the check operator like function, which I don't think that'll work. This one's just changing the default from true to false. Also, I don't like that's going to also cause people that have it disabled to also now have errors when it's disabled, and it'll show disabled. So I got to figure out a whole different logic for the toggles. Fix Epic Games Launcher. What's wrong with that? Okay. Epic Games Launcher. What's the actual change here? No, that's wrong. Yeah, I know. I got so much to do, Caleb, on the doc side of things. So much to do. Add auth and Cando. What the hell is that? Inti auth is a pretty good two-factor. Cando, using Pie menu for people who are addicted to both mouse and keyboard. Has anybody ever heard of these programs? Seems a little obscure. What do we think, chat? Inti auth, someone says they have. Inti is pretty good. Yeah. Let's see, what is it? Yeah, inti.io. Gesture-based pie menu for opening programs and links. I'm always interested. Oh, weird. Oh my God. That is just so strange. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. But, man. That's something. I've seen this before. We're going to just let that one chill for a minute. Fix typos. Oh, here we go. I was just saying someone should do a typo fix. But also read me. Let's see. What kind of typos do we have? Spelled terminal wrong and missed the R. Softwares. Software. Ooh, this is where you're screwing up, though. Can't. Wait. Thickness. Thickness. Okay, never mind then. Changing default to default. Okay, never mind. Yep, no, these are all good. Embed. Embed. Embedded. Necessary. Necessary. Oh, God. See, I was just saying. Yeah. God, there's so many grammatical errors. Y'all know I'm using AI when I start spelling everything right. When I have no grammatical errors, you know AI has completely taken over and I'm no longer doing pull requests. Member. Oh, actually though, preferred package manager. I don't think you can. I'm always hesitant about accepting that kind of request. It looks like he got it all though. Let's just double check how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 6 it looks like. Let's just double check that real fast. No, yep, that's all of them. All right. Oh, shoot, man. That looks good to me. OneDrive removal by Gabe. Now, Gabe was the one that did the Edge policy. He is very good with, I'm very impressed with his, oh God, I'm already liking this. OneDrive setup, argument list, uninstall, no wait. Wait. Oh. Yeah, so we were doing it this method. I forget why I did it this method. I think I was doing like a RoboForm copying and changing the entries. When you do an uninstall of OneDrive, I don't think it actually fixes the defaults for the like when you hit documents and desktop. And that's why I did the script. I can't remember why I did it exactly, but I do remember having to change that. So in here, you're copying that. So we copy all of OneDrive into the documents folder or the home folder. We remove OneDrive. I want to say I update the link. Yeah, getting rid of pinned from quick start. Remove run hooks, remove auto start, remove scheduled. Add shell folders, restoring default locations. This is, I think, the reason why I did it this way. Because the old methods did not specifically like documents. So there's cookies, history, favorites, and then I want to say documents and downloads. Like, yeah, my music, my video, NetHood, PrintHood. Yeah, the desktop and downloads. Yeah, it would reset all of the shell folders to the stock defaults. I'm not sure the uninstall from the official OneDrive actually worked in that regard. Yeah, I've tried Grammarly. It's okay. Yeah, you did it that way because it deletes all the stuff on OneDrive. I want to say that was the case as well. They may have improved their uninstaller, but I do remember the big thing about uninstalling OneDrive that I hated is, one, it sometimes deleted and didn't copy the existing OneDrive content over to where it was, which was a problem. The second thing was it didn't fix the shell orientations of OneDrive, meaning when you click documents, it still would go to the OneDrive's documents folder. So I had this entire thing. I remember us making it. I think it was on a live stream like a couple years ago at this point. And we did it that way specifically because the OneDrive removal was just so broken from Microsoft. So I guess I could uninstall OneDrive and then try it out. Ugh, I hate OneDrive so bad, but I know it's so baked into so many Microsoft products. If you use Office, you pretty much have to use OneDrive in this day and age. Okay, that gives us kind of where we're at on the issues, pull requests, all that. Cool. Let's pull those changes. We're gonna just double check, make sure we got a compile run from any of the PRs we did. I guess let's go dot compile and then run. Double check, make sure none of those PRs had like a syntax error that I missed. Ooh, looks like we got some code formatting happening though. No errors though. It's good. Gravy. All right, cool. Now we're working clean. Compile works. So all of those PRs we got seems to work good. Fantastic. All right. See that shut down. Translucent TB, make sure. Oh yeah, I remember translucent. Yeah, OneDrive shenanigans. I'm pretty sure that's why I did the script the way I did. I mean, people know what they want to. People kind of already know what they want, and I think if you've already used a system for 20 years, they just continually use it, even though it keeps getting better. Like, you know. So I get why people still use Windows. And you do see a gradual decline though. It's not like it's been like their shenanigans haven't gone unnoticed by normies. It's people that have moved on from Windows. It's just a slow decline. You know, I mean, you got to remember 10 years ago, they had 98% market share, complete monopoly. WinUtil next Monday, Adam, we're gonna do WinUtil. Thursday stream we're not gonna do. Here, let's just go over it. Let's just go over it. What do we? Okay. Okay, so next Monday, Adam, we'll do the WinUtil. We'll get that. Start looking at some of those PRs. I'll probably go back through WinUtil sometime off hours, look at some of the stuff. I just kind of want to browse through some of the PRs we had issues today, which we knocked out some stuff. We talked about anti-cheat, Windows 10 end of life, you know, if you still love Windows 10 or like, I have to have Windows 10, Windows 10 Enterprise IoT LTSC 2021 is what you want. You're going to have support for the next 6 years, and it's a pretty good setup if you're still stuck on Windows. I get it. That would be my preferred Windows 10 edition. Now, some people mentioned extended security updates. I would just switch to the LTSC 2021. I don't see a purpose in staying in Pro and Home. So that's my suggestion for those stuck on Windows 10. Otherwise, switch to Linux, right? Obligatory switch to Linux comment that happens on YouTube all the time. And yeah, we'll work on some WinUtil. Should be fun. Should be fun. Hey, how you doing, Zero? Good to see you made it to Zerbia, man. Yep. Short stream today. My daughter's needing work. We're gonna do some woodworking projects on a ballista for school, so that should be fun. And then my mom's coming into town, so I need to clean up everything in here. It's a little bit of a mess. I gotta vacuum. Probably dust some of this. I was drilling into the ceiling again, so there's sheetrock everywhere, so I'm gonna vacuum all that up. So pray for me in that regard. So, all right, guys. Anything else before I go? Was there anything? I'll check that out. Calum, WinUtil docs pull request. Okay. I actually found a new way to host it, the documents directly on the repos and build in Hugo at the same time, so we don't have to do separate repos. I might look at doing that on some. I think we'll go ahead and keep the WinUtil docs as they are. Although I kind of like it all being on one repo, just because then people can contribute to the docs. They know where the docs are. So I might bring WinUtils back over into like a docs folder and then do the build script like I did for the docs on, God, I can't remember what it was. Oh, DWM. DWM is when I did the docs on that, Caleb. So I can build that out so you can see that. So then we don't have multiple repos, one for documentation, one for this one. And then it makes it a little bit cleaner. But yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Just the big thing I noticed when we separated the documentation from the main repo is nobody ever updates the documentation repo. So then that's kind of problematic. So I might kill the docs repo, move it back in, and then just do the Hugo build inside of the docs repo, which I did. I kind of figured, I forgot how I set that all up, but I do have an example that I did set up using Hugo instead of like, I think Jekyll is what GitHub likes using by default, and we're not going to use that. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. You all be awesome. Don't create anything in AI and make a PR with like 1,000 line changes, please. Although sometimes I like saying them. But you know. All right, y'all. Take care. I will see you guys all next week. So we're taking a little bit time off. Deuces all.